Alright guys, welcome back. C.F.P here, and this is Survival Living. Hopefully the audio is working. We're trying a new mic, so let me know if the audio works or not, guys. Give me a 1 if you can hear me. Give me a 2 if it's quiet, because I really can't tell. Scrolling through here, guys. Let's see here. Be okay for a while, but my husband is on insulin. Yeah, we have family members that are on insulin as well. Luckily, there is a lot of new insulin that we have been able to purchase over the counter without prescription. That's what we've been working on for that. And from the best knowledge I've got, as long as it has been refrigerated correctly, we've got about a year of expiration date on those. So that extends the time period out. But once that insulin's out, it's out. Marie Joy, can a person make their own insulin? Okay, so I've done a lot of research on that, especially when I found out my father needed insulin. No. Maybe if you have the right equipment, and I do mean a lot of equipment, it's not something you're blending at home. They have all the scientific medical equipment to make it. And that was back World War II, and it was called dirty insulin. They used the pituitary glands out of fish, and it was called a dirty insulin. But that was run through, I think, a centrifuge. And I could be wrong on the equipment, but it was a guy that was medically engineered, advanced. You know, he knew his stuff. That's how they made that. For the normal person without the proper equipment or knowledge, no, I'm afraid not. Hate to be the bearer of bad news on that one. So again, guys, give me a 1 if you can hear me. Give me a 2 if you can't. Like I said, it's a new microphone, and we haven't ever tested it out. Today's the first test on it. 1, perfect. So nice to meet you. Good to see you, my friend. We got a lot of good people in here. Sorry, guys. By MF, Polar and Stuff. Good to see you, my friend. The pipeline was a test run, and yeah, they can hack what they want. Heads on a swivel. I agree with you on they can hack anything they want. This has been a concern of the prepping community, been a concern of mine for a very long time, is these cyber hacks. I watched plenty of information, documentaries and stuff on the attacks that America alone goes through. And everything from our power grid to fuel to you name it. We're always under attack by cyber attacks. This one here shut everything down as far as that pipeline. Now let's clarify on the pipeline, because that last video I had all kind of weird different comments. All right, right fast. The pipeline that was shut down provides 45% of our fuel and jet fuel, vehicle fuel and jet fuel here on the East Coast. Now, mainly the most affected areas are going to be the southeast coast area. I did have a map there of the pipeline on that thumbnail for that video, and that's pretty accurate. I mean, it does go all the way up to New York. I did have a lot of people, well, my fuel prices haven't changed. Well, ours didn't change either. Right now, we're not seeing any shortage on it, but it had been down for 3 days. Actually, even today. 4 sections of the main pipeline on Monday. Now, they said they have reestablished some of the smaller lines. And they said that they were going to take their time and do the startup correctly, which means that everything should be running by the end of the week. Now, to me, and it's my opinion, they don't have control over it. They already know who hacked. They already know who did the ransomware on it. They've already admitted to it was one of their affiliates that had done it. They don't get into geopolitical BS and all that other stuff. I don't believe the pipeline company, Colonial, has control of it. Not yet.
You're going to tell me it's going to take all week to restart the whole system? Nah, you've got thousands of employees. You can restart the system. Um, I'm not saying that you can restart it overnight. No, of course not, because you got pressure relief valves and stuff like that, checklists that you got to be running. And odds are they are running a lot of stuff just before they were turning anything back on. But it's not going to take to the weekend, upcoming weekend, to do it. I don't think they have control over it yet. And sorry, I know I'm way behind on everybody here. Definitely good to see everybody though. So with that, I did a video on storing fuel. We store fuel anyway, and there were some comments that need to be addressed. One of the main ones I've kept seeing is, how long can you store gasoline? I don't have a accurate answer for you on that. I can tell you what we do. We store up to 4 months supply of gasoline. This is something we normally do. With our gasoline, it's in a rotational stock just like our food. Okay, so instead of filling up the truck, we pull from our stocks, fill up the truck with those gas jugs. Then we take those gas jugs, fill them up. Then we rotate it back into our stock. That's how we do our fuel. And that gives us 4 months. I know 4 months is going to be enough and it won't go bad. Will gasoline go bad? Yes. Is there additives you can add to gasoline? Yes. You're also looking at anywhere from $4 to $7 for the treatment. Now, how long do you get by adding the treatment? Depends on your storage. Okay, it depends on the climate you're in. Do you have a lot of humidity in your air? We do. Are you storing in plastic um, fuel containers? Are you storing in plastic fuel containers with vents? There's a lot of things to figure in. That's why we only do 4 months. For our storage, I want to address something else. One of the comments I read was, you're not a prepper if you're relying on gasoline. Um, yes and no. We had a further conversation on that. This isn't SHTF as far as the pipeline shutdown. Is it a event? Yes. Does it suck? Well, it can if fuel is very limited and fuel prices go up. Yes, if you're not prepared to deal with more fuel prices and limited fuel, yeah, it would be a localized SHTF scenario. As far as gasoline is concerned on our end, because this isn't a full-blown SHTF scenario, I still have to go to work. If fuel is limited, my bills are still coming in. So having gasoline on hand adds fuel to my vehicle, which allows me to go to work, make a paycheck, pay my bills, buy my food. So yeah, gasoline is still part of prepping. I mean, we don't know. I mean, I don't know what type of events everybody else is preparing for, the end all be all. I try to prepare for every possible that I can. And luckily, though, most prepping scenarios are universal in preps. Okay, hurricanes. We have hurricane season. We're going to have a bad hurricane season this year. My belief is we're going to have a really bad one. Fuel. I've talked about in the video on the fuel issue we had with the alphabet company starting with an F, deals with management. Yes, I have to talk that way because that certain words are flagged on this platform. It's just the way it is. You know, if I want to play on this platform, I got to play by the rules or try to skirt by when I can. I did a story about my brother after Hurricane Michael. They pulled into the yard asking about his fuel jugs, if he had fuel. They weren't there to deliver fuel, they were there to confiscate fuel. So, they can. I also read in a comment, and I'm not on this person at all. I get where they're coming from on this. The comment was, everybody needs to make a stand. You know, I got my bang bangs and everything. They're not getting anything from me. You need to quit bending over for the government. Let me explain something best I can. I get where you're coming from on that. In a total SHTF scenario where there is no rule of law, do whatever you can to protect your stuff. I always tell people to space their stuff out, get it away from their home, keep some on hand, keep some in a bug out location, keep some everywhere that you can to split up your supplies. You don't want everything all in one basket. If anything happens, just like my house fire in Oregon, I lost a lot of stuff because everything was centralized in one spot. Luckily, I had other outside buildings that also had stuff in it. but we lost a large majority. I would say 80% of our stocks because it was in the basement. And when the house burned down, I lost it. So on the comment of going down in a blaze of glory, this isn't the movies. Have Have y'all ever watched traffic stops lately? Have you ever watched when law enforcement breach a home? It's not one or two guys. It's an army of guys. You might be good, but they're training too. I get the philosophy that if everybody stands up, eventually they're gonna get tired of it. No, everybody stands up. They're not gonna be going after 100,000 people at once. They go to your house with a squad of 12, 15 people, armed to the teeth, body armor, armor carriers. Yeah, our local police department here has an armor carrier for a tourist town. Really, we've never had any mass shooting incident. Oh man, you said that word. Got to get you flagged. We never had any of those in this town, but they made sure they got one of those armor carriers. They they roll in deep. They roll in while you're asleep. Now, do I think that law enforcement is going to be banging on your door for your fuel jug? Now, that's another scenario, okay? Due to Natural Disaster Act that they had, where the government can collect your stuff. Um, I've read many times for years, government's not going to come for your last can of beans. When that act is in place, they can do whatever they want. Now, with that in a regional area, if you're all gun ho and you're going to mow down the masses, law and order is still in place for the rest of the freaking country. Let's say you do get away with, you're still standing. Now you're going to be spending the rest of your life behind a cell. I've been there, done that. It sucks. You can't take care of your family. You're at their mercy. And if the global massive SHTF was to ever happen, you're behind locked bars. Now, there's a lot of theories of who they're going to release. Are they going to release the low custody? Well, if you just mowed down 16 of them, you're not getting released. They will walk away to go take care of their family while you're still there. Or there might be a nice one that might want to just drop everybody before they walk off. So really, really think this out. I got chastised for saying, have an evacuation plan. Damn right you need to have an evacuation plan. We leave certain things out for confiscation. Okay, if they roll in, man, this is all I've got. Well, they take that small stock, whatever. We also keep fuel so we can evacuate an area if things are going bad. If we see things are going bad in our area, we keep gasoline on hand. That way we don't have to stop. We can still go. Think this. I get the mentality. Trust me, I get it. I don't like being stepped on by the big G either. But you also have to choose your battles. You want to live another day? I do. I've been in the hospital. I flatlined before. I like having another shot at life. That's why I work really hard on my survival skills, our prepping. We move stuff around all the time. Something to think about. Let me get in the chat, guys. I apologize. And Michelle, good to see you. Sorry, I got to handle family issues. No problem. I think our own CIA director has something to do with it. He's under C.C.P. Sorry, guys. I'm on the cell phone, so it takes me a while to scroll through. Helps regulate insulin. There are others. Andrea, I will take your word for that. From what I have done with research dealing with, and I went really in depth with it. Once the Once your body stops making insulin and you're now on the needle, you're really dependent on it. Uh, Now, before you become insulin dependent, yeah, you can do a lot of things, dieting, eating certain types of foods, stuff like that. Yes, there's a lot of hope on that. But when you get on that needle, you're really you need it. St. Cloud, Florida, in the house. Good to see you. Let's see if I remember correctly. It's the pancreas gland. Yeah, it's the pancreas gland, and it doesn't create the the stuff it needs to battle the sugar. Herman F, good to see you, my friend. I have insulin stocked. Yeah, we do have a supply of insulin stocked up. It's not going to make over a year. The only thing is, with insulin, when it starts aging, it takes more dosage, more units to work, and then you're really taking a chance on that if it's even going to work, because it degrades over time. Now, the insulin we have, it supposedly has a shelf stable of a year as long as it's refrigerated. All right, but it's not cheap either. It's like $68 a bottle. I'm not trying to put a price on anybody's life. I'm just saying what we're paying. WB, good to see you. How you doing? I did get your text message, WB. I was actually outdoors filming. I've been doing a lot of outdoors filming, guys, for the upcoming guest appearance over there for Praxis. It's Praxis Homestead and Prepping. He changed his channel name again. He used to be Praxis Prepper. So he did the Alien Invasion series, and now he started on series 2. So I've been pulling out all this, nonstop on that as much as I can. We're filming in 4 different locations and trying to get it all blended in good and everything. So it's a big project, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I did have somebody comment about my tactical gear. Okay, one was one was just nasty. They say uh, fake ass, whatever. I actually am former military. I was United States Air Force. But as far as battle rattle and all that good stuff running through the woods, well, you see me on this channel. I rarely ever wear any tactical anything. The beard is for the show. The character I've created for that guest appearance, you got to look rough. It's 4 months after the invasion. The EMPs have hit. So, that's all part of the character I play. Well, when I'm still in outfit and I'm trying to do a live stream or a video right quick, I'm not going to go get changed and everything else. I'm not one of those guys that all tacticaled out and screaming and hollering. If you don't have a chest carrier, you're not going to make it. Because the fact is, even with the chest carrier, it's going to hurt. And without a medical team to mend you up, and you don't know how to mend yourself up, yeah, it's not going to be a good day. But that's what all that is, guys. Y'all know me. I don't run around with tactical equipment on and all that stuff. I mean, if I'm doing a video, it's because it's for that video. I have expired pepper spray. I would recommend to go ahead and change out your expired pepper spray, Cynthia. The reason being is because odds are it's either going to come out clumpy and get stopped up in the nozzle, or your pressurized canister is going to lose pressure and it's not going to have the same range and effect that you need. That's why we updated my wife's pepper spray. I usually get her the militarized blistering agent, but we won't talk about how I get a hold of certain things. But so I went and got her that one brand. I had some comments, check your local laws and all that other stuff. Yeah, I always check my local laws. So yeah, I like her having something non-lethal, because the fact is, with the bang bang laws and everything else that we got going on, it's a hit and miss. I mean, no one wants to actually have to take someone's life. And I mean, will she do it if she has to? Yeah, she will. But I know she doesn't want to take anybody's life unless she absolutely has to. If she has a non-lethal way of doing it, she's going to resort to that first. Now, if she reads a situation where she's got to pull a pistol, she's a redhead. She will. Everyone needs at least one boomstick and plenty of peas for it. I do agree with you. Absolutely. WB. Be right back. Gonna drop your link. Definitely appreciate WB. I know I'm way behind. JT, how are you doing? Just noticed you were live C.F.P. Yeah, it was a last minute thing. I do apologize for not getting any announcements or anything else like that, guys. Actually, we went on a little bit earlier than what I originally planned to. I was going to do it at 5:30, but I got Ansi sitting here. It happens. Leap of faith. My hubby says you got to make sure you hide the bodies. Southern Boy Prepper, how's it going? A friend got a call from a sister that lives in Georgia. She said the gas stations are limited up to $25. I am not surprised. Georgia is one of the main hub spots on off that pipeline. I'm not surprised at all. So yeah, I mean that's why we keep fuel on hand, just for the emergency. It's not a long term source of energy for us at all, guys. It's something that we can rely on to make a decision on. All right, it can run our generators for freaking a long time. It can move the vehicle when we need to. It can get us out if we need to, and gas is also a good bartering item when gas is hard to get hold of. So it's up to you if you store it or not. I read comments diesel is better. Well, I worked as a diesel mechanic. I don't like having diesel equipment because one, the tools I had to keep on hand were very expensive. Two, the parts that I had to replace were very expensive. So I mean, it's up to you. That's your preference. Diesel lasts a very long time. Diesel equipment. So it's entirely up to you. I'm not going to sway anybody either way on that. Buffalo Survival, how are you doing, my friend? He who runs away can run away another day. And I get, I've seen the comments where you're just going to walk away when they're trying when they got a gun to your child's head. Are you stupid? Not you, Buffalo. The person that left that comment. Really, really. I'm talking about when there's law enforcement where if you can still get a freaking traffic ticket and you're talking about mowing down people. It's just I'll blatantly say it. It's just retarded. That comment was just freaking retarded from that person. Again, not Buffalo. I wasn't referring to that Buffalo. I agree with you on that. Yeah, I do believe in evacuation. I enjoy living. Let's see here. Scrolling through here, guys. And I know I'm way behind. All right. Northern Girl Hobbies, how you doing? Good to see you. CJ Blaze, always a pleasure having you here with us. And I know I'm way behind in the chat, guys. I'm trying to get scrolled up here. All right. So again, besides just the fuel and stuff, guys. All right. Besides just gasoline storage, are you prepared for the big event? Are you prepared for small events, localized events? We got a big hurricane season coming. I really believe it's going to be a bad one. Are you prepared? Are you going to shelter in place? What are you going to do? All right. So like my dad and my brother, they were going to shelter in place because when Hurricane Michael was off the Gulf, I was in outside of Orlando. They were out here in Panama City area, or in Southport, which is all right on top of each other. When they first looked at it, oh yeah, it's just a Category 3, no big deal. Well, honestly, down here in Florida, Category 3 is just a normal hurricane. Anything under 3 and under, no one really worries about down here because they've already been through those so many times. Should you worry about a Category 3? Oh, yeah, you should be prepared in case something happens, mainly for power outages. They went to bed, 2 a.m., they jumped up to a Category 5. I was on the phone constantly trying to call, and they had no reception. So when they woke up to a Category 5, tearing stuff up around them, and they were in an RV, let's just say their buttholes puckered. All right, they were like, oh crap, and then they were stuck. They had no way out. The people that tried to get out beforehand got stuck on the interstate. Not a good place to be. Let's see here, scrolling through. So, one of the first thing Water filtration. Water collection, of course. As a prepper, you should have a way to collect water. Having water stored up. We do keep a supply of fresh water, fresh drinking water stored up. We do. Now, with water, it takes up a lot of room. It takes up, it weighs a lot, all right? Unless you have a spare room that you can stock up water, it's going to be a little difficult unless you got a cistern outside and stuff like that to store water. Now, pools are a great idea for storing water, sure. I mean, that's a lot of water there. One of my main thing is to say have a week's supply of water stored up somewhere. A week's supply. Have water filtration. We like these Sawyer Minis. They're compact, they're easy to work with, you can travel with them. Everybody knows the Berkey system is about the best on the market for the price. I've never disagreed with that. All I've said is if you got to evacuate and you're on foot, that big Berkey system is going to be a pain in the butt trying to carry on your back with all the other gear you need to survive. That's all I've said on that. Having a big Berkey in your home is very nice water filtration system. You can make your own bucket system and just use the filters, or a filter very similar to those ceramic filters are very nice. You can build one cheaper. Again, trying to travel with that makes it difficult on foot. That's why I like the Sawyer Mini. Now, Sawyer has the S series, which filter out more and more. I think the S3 series is like $60. It filters out water 60 times, whatever the container is, and it filters out heavy metals, viruses, the whole 9 yards. But it's like $60. I've been asked a lot about the Life Straw. We do have Life Straw because of bartering. I don't really like the Life Straw because of how much suction you have to use to get water to go through a Life Straw. If you have small children, think about that. If you bought a Life Straw and that was your plan, it's under $20. I think the Life Straws now run like $16. They're cheaper than the Sawyers. Test it. Have your child test the Life Straw. Make sure they can suck that water through because it takes a lot. If you have damaged teeth, you say you have what they call dried sockets where you're missing teeth because you didn't take good care of your dental, or you've had an accident and you've had teeth knocked out, try it. Odds are you're going to be setting that off to the side and go, screw that. The Life Straw and the Sawyer Mini both have the same filtration system. Okay, they have the same design filtration system. One's $20, one's $16. Again, the suction part is the big issue. Water flows much easier through the Sawyer because you can screw it onto a bladder bag that's already comes with the package, or you can screw it onto a soda bottle. Okay, with the soda bottle, you fill up your water and you can squeeze it and it will shoot right out. All right, that's why I like the Sawyers. They're compact, they're light, and they got a back flush system. You get 100,000 gallons out of it with the back flush system. Now with the Sawyer Mini, you're only going to get bacteria out. You won't get viruses. You will not be able to catch viruses with that filter. You have to get their S series, their S3 series to get that. Life Straw doesn't work on viruses either. It just works on bacteria. So to keep from getting dysentery, stuff like that, it will work. But you're only getting, I'm probably wrong on the number, I'm going to say 1,000 gallons with a Life Straw because it doesn't have a back flush, maybe 2,000. Compared to Sawyer Mini, 100,000 gallons. So to me, an extra $4, you're good. Next up, guys, food. All right, food. You got to have food. I've had comments just recently with our weekly prep series, and I want to try to address them here. Those have been taken off really, really awesome. I was really surprised. We're getting a lot of good feedback on that. Some feedback, I'm scratching my head like, why are you even watching? But anyway, so one of the comments I've read with the canned meats, they've asked how long do they store? Okay, all of our canned food and all of our dry food, our beans, rice, pasta, stuff like that we store up here at the house, here where we got other stuff hidden in other locations, just don't know where. That's a normal rotational stock. In other words, you got two dates on canned goods. You got a Best Buy date, which is done by the manufacturer so that the people selling can sell when is the best taste. It's just a ploy. You got an expiration date, which means you're taking a chance with an expiration date. All right, if the food's still good. Now, with both Best Buys and expiration date, it really depends on your storage. Okay. Boiling water 10 minutes kills everything. Yes, Natural Bounty Homestead WB. Actually, as long as you have your water at a rolling boil, you just have to boil for up to 5 minutes and it will kill off everything. But it has to be a rolling boil. In other words, that sucker's boiling up, not just little bubbles coming up. It has to be boiling. Just 5 minutes, that's all you need because it reaches a certain temperature, which so far there's no viruses that can sustain that temperature, and you got it. So when it comes to canned goods, guys, there's two dates. Both the dates you can't go by because it just depends on how you store it. Temperature, regulating temperatures. I've had people say, "Well, I got an outside shed. I don't have air conditioning. I put all my food there." Don't don't do that. All right. Like here in Florida, we have many different range of temperatures. One day is 96, 100 degrees. The next day is 40, 50. Just depends. Nighttime is cooler than the day. Just depends on the season. That flux in temperature range will make your food go bad quicker. And it does, even though it's not open, it can affect it. Again, the best buy is just by the manufacturer, just telling them this is the best buy to sell this by because it tastes the best. That's all that is. Expiration dates you got to worry about. Now, has there been people that have eaten food past the expiration date and have been fine? Yeah, absolutely. That food's been correctly stored too. I cannot get up here and tell you that everything you have stored and it's past the expiration date is going to be good to eat. I can't tell you that because the fact is I don't know how you stored it. I don't know what type of food it is. Now I've seen in the past people are concerned about tomato sauce, tomato paste, spaghetti sauce. The acids weed out a tin can. Well, when it gets near the actual expiration date on the can, probably so. Ours is a normal rotational stock. In other words, we don't have that for a long term. We have a year to 2 year supply of our normal foods that we will be able to eat before we get into our long term food storage. Now, long term food storage, guys, rice. And I'm talking about the dried rice. I'm still doing research on the minute rice. I don't know how long that stuff lasts because I never use it. I know there's some people here that do use the minute rice, but I don't know personally because I've never tried it. I don't know how long that lasts. Regular rice lasts a very long time. You throw an oxygen absorber in it, you vacuum seal it, it's going to last a very long time. I'm talking about many, many years. Same with beans. Now, I see it all the time. Well, you didn't say nothing about freezing rice. That's because I've already talked about it, but we can always, it's kind of hard to constantly remember and repeat the exact same thing when I do a video. Now, the speculation on how long you should freeze your rice for storage. Okay, we use 24 hours, mainly because when it comes out, it's like ice. Our refrigerator works very well. Our freezer works very well. Now, I've seen anywhere from 48 hours to 72 hours. That's just your preference, whatever you want to do. If your freezer freezes an ice tray within a few hours, solid block of ice, you're good for 24 hours. Now, when you get it out, you need to put all that rice on like a cookie sheet, spread it out. You want it to dry. All right. Now, drying, don't put it in an oven and dry because now you're cooking your rice. Don't do that. Let it air dry. All that moisture that was frozen is still connected to the rice. You don't want to vacuum seal it with that moisture still on there. Your rice will go bad. You got to let it air dry. Shake it up. Once it's dried, then you vacuum seal that with a oxygen absorber. Okay, and you can vacuum seal without an oxygen absorber as long as it is done correctly and stored correctly. You can get anywhere from 5 to 7 years. I've seen 11 years without an O2 absorber on rice. Now, with one, you got a longer longevity on that. So that is definitely a go-to on your long-term food storage. Beans, the same way. They last a lot longer. The reason why you're freezing this rice and you're freezing your beans, weevils. All right. Um, I've had questions about weevils before. When these things are processed at the plant, the weevil egg is still attached to the rice. It's already in there. I've seen comments where, well, I didn't, I guess I had a failed bag because I've got weevils. No, the weevil egg is already on the rice itself. That's why you're freezing it. You're killing that egg from ever hatching. I know it sounds gross. Hate to say it, but it's already in your food. So it goes back to where people say, "Well, you shouldn't eat those weevils. How dare you?" Blah blah. You're actually already eating them. They're attached to your rice. When you freeze it, you're killing it. They're not penetrating your vacuum sealed bag and then getting into your bag. They're already in there. Let me check something here, guys. Give me a second. I'm just ranting away. Survival preparedness for beginners. Definitely do appreciate that. Good to catch you, bro. Glad to hear you publishing hurricane preparedness. If people live within 200 miles from the coast, they need to be prepared. Oh, absolutely. I mean, look how far Michael went in and turned. I mean, hurricanes just don't stop on the coastline, that's for sure. All right. Completely agree with you. Let them grow more protein. Track rock. I had somebody tell me I can't recommend doing that. I can tell you what I've done. It's never bothered me. I've boiled them before and I've skinned them off the top. Never hurt me. I've eaten them. I've eaten them in rice before. It's a mental thing. You're looking at it, you know it's a bug. Uh, but I was told by somebody else, probably just I don't know. They gave me their credentials about how I need to be careful on telling people what they can and can't eat. I'll tell you from my own survival experience, it's not going to hurt you. There you go. I've eaten cockroaches. I've eaten worms. I've eaten snake. I've shown how to clean out a snake. Um, there you go. I'm pretty sure it's just a person that wanted to sit there and tell me how they know more than me. And there are some people that know more than me. But when I'm talking about something, I'm talking about from experience, my experience as a prepper, as a survival guy. This is my experience. Roughly 14 miles ashore, Jeff. Oh, yeah, you definitely, 14 miles, you're definitely going to be getting those winds. That's for sure, my friend. I have shifted weevils out of flour, harmless. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that it's a mental thing. When you're looking at it, you see it's a bug, and some people have a problem with it. So yeah, I mean that's what it is. Now, are there some insects you should stay away from? Yeah, there are. All right. So that on food, guys, canned goods, dry goods. Just wrap that up. Yeah. So that's a normal rotational stock. I don't put a can of stew beef back and hope it's going to be good in 20 years. Could there be stew beef that's good 20 years? Maybe. I've never eaten a can that's 20 years old and you go, man, that's the best tasting can I've ever had. So I don't know that. All right. I know what we can do on our rotational stock. And that's why we started getting into more rice, more beans, and our long term stuff. You guys already know we're affiliated with Long Term Food Stores Place. That is our long term goal. All right. We have seeds, we have fertilizer as far as the vegetable miracle grow for vegetable gardens. We have that stockpiled up too. It's a crystalline seed that will hook up to the water hose. It will produce growing material. Uh, we have shown in the past growing from our garden, growing to seed, vacuum sealing our seed, curing everything out, and putting in storage. That's what we use the next year to grow with. We didn't grow a garden this year because of my work schedule. I'm working as much as possible so I can put back as much as possible. That's just the way it is. I know something's going to happen. I feel something's going to happen, and I don't want to be caught with my pants down. That's not fear porn. That's just me saying my concerns. I think something's going to happen. Get food, get water put back. When it comes to protecting your home, guys, we don't talk about it much on this. I mean, you guys know why. But what they call them, the freedom sticks, your firearm. You need something to protect your home. You need ammunition. Now, with the way things are right now with ammunition, we already saw that was coming. I mean, everybody called that years ago. Back when the first huge buy for, I believe it was 10 millimeter handgun rounds, and that was purchased by the D Homeland S. Maybe that got through. Um, about so many rounds, like 10 million rounds. We saw that they could quickly shut down our access to bullets. So hopefully, people learn from that experience. They went ahead and got supplies up. I have seen comments, well, I just reload. Awesome. If you are a reloader, that's awesome. If you have that skills, you have the supplies you need to continue reloading, very awesome. For most people, they don't have the equipment necessary. They don't have the stockpile of powder. They don't have the primer material. They don't have the stuff they need to do that. And for them to go into and start buying all that stuff now, one, it's probably going to be very difficult to do. Two, they're on a budget, and it's easier to go pick up a box of Bang Bang Freedom Seeds than it is to go spend $1,000 on equipment to make your own and not know how to do it. I mean, yeah, there are some YouTube videos that show you a lot of good stuff. There's also a lot of YouTube videos that's complete full of BS, and you got to be careful. You do. So yes, protection, surveillance equipment. All right, we have motion sensors, we have trail cams, we have closed circuit um, monitors, cameras. We have all that. All that stuff stays in Faraday bags. We don't know if an event happens, an EMP. We got to make sure our stuff's protected. That way, we have access to this later. Um, so that's something. Is it required to survive? No, it's not. That's not required to survive. Surveillance equipment, stuff like that. It's not required. Does it help? Yeah. Night vision. It helps. My night vision is a generation 1. I can't afford a generation 3 right now. Okay? I can't. I got too much other stuff I'm trying to prepare and make sure it's right before I go drop several $100s on a generation 3 setup. Generation 1, it gives me supposedly 70 yards, clear 40, 46 yards of clear sight. Um, but that gives me an ability to see at night. All right. So IR, that's probably about the next cheapest thing you can do is IR equipment. IR is very nice. Is there ways to beat IR and night vision, stuff like that? Yeah. But for the normal person that's marauding around, they're not going to have the gear or have the knowledge that you might have that. They're not going to be worried about that. But then again, maybe they will, you know. Sorry, guys. I'm scrolling through here. I know I'm way behind, and I do apologize for missing everybody. Let's see here. Jennifer, what about Dimotasius Earth? I know I mispronounced that. I do not know. I did see a comment on one of our videos recently about it. I have never come across that. I have no experience with that. Um, I have seen where people say use bay leaves to deter weevils in your rice, but that the bay leaves just goes back to the eggs are already on the rice. Having bay leaves on in flour and stuff like that after you open up a container to keep other bugs from getting into it is a good idea. It is. Bay leaf works great on a natural deterrent from bugs and stuff like that. But bay leaves and rice is still the same thing. The weevil eggs are already attached to your rice. So as far as that earth thing, I'm not sure. I've never used it, so I'm thinking it could be wrong, but I'm thinking it's going to be the exact same thing as the bay leaves. The weevil egg is already attached to the rice. Is it a good idea for long term if you open up a container, you don't want bugs coming into it after a container's been open? Yeah, it probably would be great just like a bay leaf. We've had a few bugs crisp covered in chocolate. I'm still here. Yeah. Hey, those chocolate covered grasshoppers are actually pretty good. Leap of Faith, what are your thoughts on EMP Shield? Do you think it actually will work? Leap of Faith, yes, I do. Actually, we are affiliated with EMP Shield. With that being said, Of course, he's going to say it works good because it's affiliated with. All right, so we bought our first one um, through Marfugal TV, and that was 2 years ago, I think it was. I think it was before Christmas or right at Christmas, and they had a special discount going on. I saved like $90 off of it, and that was one for a vehicle. We met on our vehicle. I liked how I was doing. I've already been researching all their materials that they publish on the website with all their testing. They leave all that there for you, so you can actually research it yourself and read everything about their testing and what the applications are and stuff. All right, look good. So later on, it was about a year, close to a year, we decided to go ahead and become affiliated with them. So I applied for them. We got into the affiliate program with them, and that's where we bought ours for our solar system for our trailer. Now that one there is a little bit more pricey one because we're running two charge controllers, and there's like 500 some bucks. But they do have a single charge controller one. If you just have one charge controller, if you guys saw my solar video when I was showing people how to do solar, we got two solar charge controllers. So I needed one to protect both of them. So yes, I am affiliated with them guys. So I'm not gonna. I've always kept transparent with everything. But I bought my first one and put it on my car before we ever did the affiliate program. I mean, so there it is. I mean, you get $50 off your purchase on all your items if you buy multiples of them. Use C.F.P. EMP as the promo code, and you get $50 each one of those items. If they still have, I don't think they still have their sale. When you catch their sales, you can actually attach that to that and actually get more off of your items. But yeah, I mean, we have it on our vehicle, and we have it for our solar. That way, we know our solar. I mean, I keep extra stuff for our solar anyway. We've got extra charge controllers. We got extra inverters. We've got extra diodes to replace the diode in the back of the solar panel itself. We've got extra solar cable, MC4 connectors. We have extras of those in case there's ever anything wrong. We actually have extra panels too that are actually in homemade Faraday cages. Let's put it that way. A lot of aluminum foil. But those are steps we took. This wasn't something that we could just sit down and go buy all at once. It wasn't. We had to budget in. Look up my workload. Look at my wife. She's been working a lot of doubles trying to prepare too. Also to help with our move when we leave here. We are working all the time, and it does take money to buy some of these preparedness items. Can you make your own Faraday cage? Yeah, you can. Is it as good as the Faraday bags like my buddy Ryan's got over there on his website? No, those Faraday bags are a lot more rugged. They're designed and tested. The Faraday cages that I've built, the only test I could ever do on them was put a radio down in it and put a walkie-talkie and wait till I couldn't hear any transmission out of it. That's the only testing I could do with just my little aluminum foil Faraday cages. So, will it withstand an EMP doing a homemade job? I don't know. It's just me trying to take a step while I could. I have a E-Deck bag. Those are super rad. I have seen the E-Deck bags that Mark Fugel has been showing on his channel. Those do look really cool. I do like the idea of them. I don't have one, but they do seem very cool. Scrolling through here, guys, I apologize. Let's see here. I'm way behind. I know. I do apologize again, guys. I'm just trying to get it here, trying to look for questions. T. Washington, hey C.F.P. I am having a lot of success growing microgreens as a food source. You could try that instead of full garden this year. Very easy. I can give you info on the tools I've used. I have took a look at the microgreens from Green Greg, his YouTube channel there, and I was talking to the wife about it because we want to get into aquaponics later when we get into Wyoming, but we just don't have the room. I mean, we don't. But yeah, you can definitely send me the information. I'd be happy to review it. Just send it to my email address at centralfloridaprepper@hotmail.com. Send it to my email address. I'll be happy to take a look at it because I don't know anything about microgreens, just the stuff I've been looking at. But again, like I said, we don't have any room for the stuff. The summer heat down here in Florida, when it hits summertime, scorch earth. It's bad. It's bad here. So yes, there's a lot of things we have to take in consideration. I did have comments. Somebody was saying that I need to be working more on self-sufficient living, learning how to do this, learning how to do that. I already know how to do that. This person that left a comment there, you've been on my channel since the beginning, and I've shown that we know exactly what we're talking about. You also know that we live in a 6x12 cargo trailer that I converted into a camper. We are currently on family property that I pay rent to park at. Um, so the property that we're on is not mine. I can't just sit there and start tearing up my family's property to install wind turbines and everything else. I mean, it's kind of a dick move if you ask me. So when we get to Wyoming, when we have homestead property there, that's where we're going to be utilizing those skills and showing people how to do that. I'm not going to tear up my aunt's property and my cousin's property to do a YouTube video. That's just being a jerk. Let's see here. Scrolling through. Solar versus wind generators. Rip curl. Uh, well, we have both. Um, our solar. Oh, you're talking about the solar generators like Bluetti and Jackery. All right. Now, as far as solar versus wind turbine, we have both because in Wyoming, like down here in Florida, we've always got sun. I mean, it's 97% of the time we got sun. So it works great. Where we're located at, we don't have much wind here. I mean, it gets breezy, but it's not enough to turn the turbines. When we get to Wyoming, I've lived in Wyoming before. I worked out of Wyoming. It's windy. So our wind turbines are going to be a great help there, especially during the snow season. All right. When our solar, we're going to be running into issue with a solar when the sky is all gray. It's just the UV light is just not getting through like it needs to be. Will we still be able to draw something with our solar? Yeah, we'll still be able to draw something, but that's why we have a backup, the wind turbines. And we have a backup for that, the generators. And we got a backup for that, propane. So we just have a lot of backups in place. So it really just depends on your area as far as the wind turbine, I mean, the wind generators and the solar generators. If you're in an area that doesn't have much wind to turn a wind turbine, you want to go with solar or vice versa. Scrolling through here, guys. South Florida DCL, good to see you, my friend. It's happening. It's starting with the gas. Everyone here in Bavar County is freaking trying to get gas. Uh, yeah, I don't doubt it one bit. I do know Bavar County. I have not been out on the road except for doing our film shoot, and I haven't even been around where I was at. I'm out in the sticks. So I don't know what the gas is doing today. I haven't been out yet. I do have to go to the station tonight because I work tonight at the gas station, and I'll be able to see what the prices are acting up like. Last night we didn't have any change. I was the only person when I went to go fill up the last couple of jugs that we needed to top off. Um, I was the only person out there putting gas in the jug. Nobody even seemed to even know what was going on. I had actually contacted some family members, asked them if they're getting some fuel put back, to make sure you top off your vehicles. Why? Told them about it. So I ain't even heard about this yet, which was interesting to me that people just not even aware that it was even happening. I see. Scrolling through here. From Jacksonville to Virginia, there's no gas. South Florida DCL. Definitely do appreciate that update, my friend. Really do. Scrolling through here, guys. I do apologize again for being way behind. I'm trying to get to the questions here. Survival preparedness for beginners. When are you making? When are you looking to make the big move? We are. Well, we're making our second move. We're making our second move. The end of summer. This winter, this fall, we're going to Arizona. Okay, and when winter out there, and just depends on the price of lumber, or when we're going to move from Arizona. If the price of lumber stabilizes, we'll be heading to Wyoming next spring. If the freaking 2x4 costs $10 still. We're not moving to Wyoming. It's not in our budget. It's just not. I mean, the way I've designed the first bunkhouse to live out of the first year while we build, the original price, just the lumber material and the nails and everything I need to do that, because we got a lot of supplies in storage right now, our wood stoves, our PEX piping, all that stuff. Um, it was just a hair over $5,000 for the lumber. But this was also when a 2x4 was $1.04. Now a 2x4 is right at $10, right here. When I looked at the prices there in Cheyenne, they were $10, $12 for a 2x4. A 4 foot by 8 foot sheet of plywood of an OSB board was $56 or $58. When I originally did the blueprint design and everything, a 4x8 sheet was $17. So with that price jump, we're holding off for that, because if we get to Wyoming, we've got a 4 month window to build. That's tight. That's why we're doing the build in sections. First the bunkhouse, then we're going to build onto that, so on and so forth. Because me working by myself doing construction, it's going to be time consuming for sure. Let's see here. Hacker group called Dark Side. Yes, Jeff. Yeah, that's who they've said done it. They've actually done a statement saying it was one of their affiliates. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it. Dark Side. You are correct. Lisa R. Hall, good to see you, my friend. All right, scrolling through here, guys. Rip Curl, panic is only going to make the issue worse. Even here on the West Coast, they are raising prices when the pipeline has nothing to do with us. But honestly, it's the beginning of everything is skyrocketing. Yeah, Rip, I was wondering about how the West Coast was going to handle the fuel thing here. The pipeline over here that's having the issue is 45% of our fuel here on the East Coast. Now, if they try to management the shortage, they're gonna have to pull stock reserves from somewhere else, which would be probably trucking in from West Coast or mid, which will cause a shortage on that side. Not as much, but yeah, I could definitely see people panicking over it. Let's see here. Lowe's, $9.97 a 2x4. Yeah, South Florida. Yeah, buddy. It's freaking crazy. All right, scrolling through here. What if the DS gave us a gas problem to distract us from the internet problem? It is very possible that this is a FF situation. Very possible. Um, Either way, if it's a legit cyber attack from a different group, or it's the big G, our officials. Yeah, I know, I'm speaking of code again. Have to. Uh, the result's still the same. There's going to be a shortage. Price gouging. Result's still the same. Now, we can try to pursue on who's to blame and what's the agenda behind and stuff like that. Um, my main concern is the immediate issue. Should you look at long term? Absolutely, absolutely. You should be trying to figure out what the long game is. Unfortunately, my contacts are very limited to certain things, but other things, my contacts are very good. So it could be. I mean, if it is our our administration behind it, uh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just right now I'm making sure we have fuel on hand when we need it. You got a good point. Scrolling through. Do you think it's from within? Do I think, Elliot? No. No, I think we were cyber hacked. We get cyber hacked on a daily basis on America. There's everything. They are constantly. I mean, we had our water down here in Florida, water facility. They got cyber hacked. I did a video like at 4 a.m. when I came across my newsfeed. They had went in, hacked in, and changed and dumped a whole bunch of crap in the water and stuff like that. That was outside of Tampa. So I mean, we're being tested all the time. So I think this is a legitimate hack. Prepper Days topped off. Awesome. Let's see here. All right, guys. Now I'm going to be trying to keep up. If you guys got questions, I'm going to try to catch them. So definitely put the comments in. I'm done running my mouth. I'm going to try to answer some questions here. Billy Bird, good to see you. Your number one fan is here. Awesome. Good to see you, my friend. Laura Larson, how's it going? Any build is 100 to 200% more than last year. Yeah, you're right. Gardner Josh, good to see you, my friend. All right, guys. So if you got questions for me, please hit me up. I did have a comment that my knife was turned wrong on my chest rig. Yeah, it was. That was my boot knife, and I wasn't wearing boots. I was wearing my tennis shoes, so I just clipped it on. Uh, but yeah, had one. Why is your chest rig so low? That chest rig is just a Condor chest rig. It's not body armor. I cannot own body armor. I'm a convicted felon. I have a felon record. State of Florida. I cannot have body armor. Did my time, paid my dues. Several years later, doesn't matter. I can't. So that's just a regular chest rig. Just to answer that, because I did have a comment asking about that. If you're not prepped, you won't survive. South Florida DCL. It's definitely going to be hard. It's going to be hard for people. There's going to be many not survive. Just depends on what the situation is. I do agree with you. That's why we prep as hard as we can. I mean, we live what we preach. We do. We're not playing around with it one bit. I am not going to be out there asking for the government's assistance. I need this. I need that. Go stand in line. I'm not doing that. I really worry about what stipulations are going to be in play when you are waiting in line for something. You know what? When the stimulus checks were coming around, I was really worried that they're going to make it so it was a mandatory, um, you know, stick you. That's what I thought was going to be coming. When we never did a video on it because it was my own thoughts. I didn't have any backing on it. Fortunately, that didn't happen. Fortunately, most of those checks got to people that needed it immediately. But I do know people that have not got their first stimulus from last year. I did get my first one last year. Finally got my tax returns. So I'm still waiting on that. It's either 1,200, 1,400 that was coming around. And when we get that, that's going to preps too. I mean, we took a percentage of our tax return, did a big meat haul on our stocks, but we also try to pay up our vehicle insurance and stuff like that. Stuff that we know that we're going to need in a slow SHTF slip. A complete collapse, I'm not worried about insurance on my vehicle. But like the shutdown, you still had to have insurance on your vehicle when you're driving around. You still got a ticket. So that we try to balance everything out as best we can. If you have rent, you need to have rent paid up. You don't want to be facing these evictions and stuff, people getting kicked out of their homes. You don't want to be stuck in that position. Laura, love the facial hair. I cannot wait to get rid of this. I cannot stand it. I don't wear a beard. Main reason, well, my wife does not like it. Two, I keep getting stuff embedded in my mustache when I'm trying to eat or drink. Three, my gas mask does not seal with this beard. I tried. So I've seen you can lather up with Vaseline all over your face and it'll create a seal. But I just don't like. I just don't like it. I'm just wearing it just for the part that we're going to be playing for the guest appearance, and that is even shaved off. South Florida, how's the wife? She's doing good. She's actually off today, so I came in here to do the live stream because she's unwinding. She's been working a lot of doubles and stuff. It's been rough. It's been rough on her. Like I said, I work multiple jobs too. We're just trying to get everything ready for when something happens. We keep we've added up to our stock on small denominational bills and stuff like that. That's something we really didn't really do a lot of. But we want to have a game plan for as much as possible. So we've been working on that, trying to make sure we have small denominational bills. Excuse me, blah 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 blah. In case power goes out, just debit cards, credit cards won't work. Most stations, like the station I work at, if the power's out, we will still do business. We can't pump gas. There's a generator, but it don't work. I'm pretty sure you're required to. They'll probably get wrote up if they ever had an inspection. But if the power goes out, there's no gasoline coming out of those tanks unless you're doing it a certain way. But for the store to pump it, there's no backup generator. Now they do have it set up because we do have a lot of power outages here that they take cash only. Well, I don't want to spend $100 for a gallon of water, so we broke down a lot of bills to smaller stuff like that. That was our big project we just recently did. Let's see here. Scrolling through. What if China finds out America's trying to the nation? I'm pretty sure they're already aware of it. They've got they've got people here just like we got people over there. There, it's all over the news. The whole bang bang scenarios and stuff like that. They already know. Yes, please come back to us. Yeah, yeah. The beer's not gonna last much longer. I've got a couple more scenes I've got to do. I've got to do a couple with my brother. Uh, we got some scenes with makeshift forward operating base set up out in the woods. Uh, that's a lot of work, but it's coming off pretty good. So just for that series. All right, scrolling through here, guys. I'm looking for makes my beard itch. Yeah. All right. South Florida, with all this happening now, this hurricane season is going to be epic. Yeah. I'm not surprised, especially down here in Florida, if our fuel price does not go up really high for summer alone. And then with hurricane season being what they're calling for, we're going to see some high prices. Let's see here. All right, guys. So definitely appreciate you guys hanging out with us. For those that have been supporting me over there with that other YouTube channel, the Swampy Jack's Wongo Adventure, that channel I built for that business, definitely do appreciate it, guys. It's turned out very well. We presented it to them last week, and they're still working on what they're going to be doing and everything else like that. There is competition, of course. The competition I've got out there has a 25-second video, and they got like 6 views. So you guys really helped out on that. It definitely established that I know what I'm doing with the YouTube channel and also with the Twitter account I made for the company, and it's really helped us out. I really do, and I do appreciate every single one of you that went over there and helped support by subscribing over there and stuff. It helped us when we presented it. All right, guys. So again, definitely, guys, if y'all are out and about looking online and stuff, check out our website. I'm still proud of that sucker. CFPguide.com. That's our little baby. That's our little baby project. It's doing very well, and that's because you guys going over there supporting that way. When you we don't have advertisement on that channel on the website. I was talking to the wife about it, and she's like, they get bombarded with ad revenue, the ads, the commercials right here on YouTube all the time when they go click on it. Yeah, and does create ad revenue for us as a source of income. says, why not just keep your website with your videos and whatever you want to, and just have it ad free. Now, when you click on the YouTube video on the website, it takes you to YouTube, so there's an ad. But you ever go to those websites where you're trying to read something and there's always a freaking ad popping up and you can't get it out of the way? So we decided we're not attaching that to our Google account for ad revenue. We're just going to keep it plain and open. So definitely appreciate those that have been over there and checking it out. That does that traction, which gets us more recommended when people are looking for things. All right, guys. So wrap everything up. You guys definitely be safe. Um, as far as the fuel, like I said, I try to keep as much fuel put back as possible, but ours is limited, 4 months rotational stock, and that's just because we don't. I personally don't know and don't trust trying to store up more in gasoline. It's what we rotate. We fill up our vehicle with that, and we fill up those jugs, and we fill those up. Is it a lot of work? Yeah, I read some comments recently about they went somebody went to their prepper closet and they hadn't been there in years, and all their food had gone bad, their rice had gone bad, rodents had gotten into this, rodents had gotten into that. Why are you? I, I'm not understanding. I check my stocks all the time. I'm always going through my stocks, mainly because it's our rotational stock. In other words, today we decide we're going to eat roast beef or whatever. We pull our roast beef from our stocks, we make our meals and stuff. It goes on a list. So next time we go shopping, we're replacing everything. So everything's getting moved around. Uh, with your canned goods, dry goods, and stuff, guys, put in a rotational stock. Don't just stick it in a closet somewhere and forget about it. Your long-term food stuff like Legacy, Mountain House, I'm trying to think of the other names, the ReadyWise, the Patriot Foods, those other companies, they're designed to be put away somewhere, stuff somewhere. But if you've got rodent issues in your home, my advice, take care of your rodent problem first, because every food item that you're trying to stock, unless it's in a glass jar or a steel gun safe, they're going to be getting into, especially if you're sticking it somewhere that's not being disturbed for a while. They're going to find that, they're going to make it paradise. So definitely stay on top of that, guys. All right, so we're going to wrap up here, guys. Again, I definitely appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Uh, Gene W, good luck at the gas station. It'd be interesting to see if the station runs out. Yeah, I'm curious of what we're gonna do as far as management does there. Last night, nothing new. I have to see tonight what goes down. But I'll let you know if something stupid happens. I bring out the camera. Yeah, all right, guys. Y'all take care. Speak to y'all later.